Since the last time you guys were here, I have kind of added a new, what I would most people call a crutch, because I lean on it very heavily as an icebreaker when discussing with new people. Because I have had so this run up for the road to Supernova this year has been way more extensive than last year. Like next week is Gary from the Backyard Superheroes. Um, Flying Raccoon Suit is going to be on. The Boy Detective is going to be on. I talked with Tim and Aaron and Heather, and I've also realized that in the last several months, I've kind of leaned on one question to ask people in order to break the ice. But we are old friends after all. You guys have been on the show previously, but I never got to ask you this. If you could remake a movie, but make it Muppets, but only one human remains, what movie is it, and who is the one human? I've
Um,
gotten a lot of really good answers so far, so
Man, the first one that comes to mind is probably not the best answer, but a really good answer. Um, I think is Pulp Fiction and Sam Jackson.
yes, I've gotten that a lot. I've gotten the Truman Show a lot, which
Oh,
That's a
I
really
was
good one.
I was really surprised about that one.
I am a monstrous Muppets and Sesame Street and Jim Henson fan.
Yeah, same.
In total, yeah, dude. We match up pretty well.
We're on the same wavelength,
Yeah.
Danny, and it's
Uh,
wonderful.
what's another one, man? Could you imagine like
So,
Muppet Big Lebowski?
well, I know. Like, are we like? What if you did like True Romance? Would it be like Christian Slater's the only human, and then
If you want it to be.
that's really dark.
sure, why not?
Not funny at
So the one I kind of lean on is The Princess Bride,
all.
uh,
Inconceivable,
where Kermit is like the Dread Pirate Roberts, Miss Piggy is Buttercup.
as
I
you
would
wish.
keep I would keep Humperdinck human, and if we're making it today, it would be Adam Driver. I think he would be really good Prince Humperdinck. The only other human actor, and I'm stealing this from someone else, uh, is Cary Elwes would play the grandfather, and he's telling the story to Robin, uh,
It's a lot,
Kermit's cousin or nephew or
right?
whoever Robin is to him. I think that would just be freaking adorable. But that's just me.
That's great.
That's silly.
I like True Romance too. That's another good one. We both picked Tarantino movies.
I guess so.
I love it. It's
I
fantastic.
some of my
That's the first time I've heard True Romance. I've heard Pulp Fiction before, but that's the first time I heard True Romance. So,
Yeah, that's the first one that came to mind. There's
yeah,
a lot of great.
Miss Piggy would have to be Alabama.
I love it. That'd be perfect. It's Welcome back to another episode of First, Last, and Best. We are well on our way to Supernova. It is coming up fast. If you have not bought your tickets yet, jump on that immediately because this is going to be one hell of a festival. We've already we're doing our Supernova study guide every Thursday. We've already talked Detroit Rhythm Crew. We've talked about the A100s. We talked about the Boy Detective. We're going to be talking about the Planet Smashers this coming week. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. Um, but I feel like we've dove into the history, not just of the festival itself, but ska in general. We spoke with Tim, who created the festival. We talked with Aaron, another incredible ska historian, and last week Heather Augustine, who was a wealth of information, especially concerning women in the ska genre. And I felt like we should also hear from the bands, bands that are a part of the genre, bands that have made their way through Supernova, and honestly, bands that are just bands you should know. Uh, and up first, and we're going to have several over the next several weeks. But I felt it was important to really highlight one of the bands that we talked about during our Bands You Should Know episode we did right before Supernova last year. And also the first band that really gave me was incredibly generous with their time and with their help with helping me push this project that is First, Last, and Best forward. And that is the band Stop the Presses. And with me today is Danny and Alli from Stop the Presses. Guys, thank you so much for coming back on. I know you guys were on a Supernova wrap up last year. Danny, you've came on talked Coheed. Uh, Future Weezer episode eventually. We'll get there. But guys, thank you very much for coming back to discuss the band as a whole.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So let's kind of start from the beginning.
Okay.
You guys are both from South Florida. You live in New York now. You guys are very heavily involved in the New York music scene at this point. But Stop the Presses traces their origins back down to Florida. Where did you guys start? How did this project come together?
It started in Hialeah.
In a bedroom in Hialeah, Florida.
Hialeah is a little Cuban suburb in Miami. I was going to conservatory down there, and I was looking for a band. I've always been, I've always played classical music, and so I was a classically trained pianist, and I don't know if people know that or not. And yeah, and I had a bunch of silly songs, and so I was trying to find a band, and I went on MySpace, and then I saw a band that was called Only Right Left. That was Danny's project, and I replied to the ad. They were looking for a lead singer, and I said, "Hi, I sing, and I also play keys." And then they invited me to Hialeah, and that's where I met these hooligans.
Alli kind of like joined my band after our old lead singer went crazy, shaved his head, and moved to Colombia, literally. And yeah, we were looking for somebody to come in and do some stuff, and Alli replied, and man, it was like kind of, it was cool. It was easy. She had we had some songs already. She had a couple of songs already, and we kind of, showed each other our parts, and it all kind of like fit together. Which was fun, like Only Right Left was where we started. So in over the pandemic 2020, we released like unreleased music by that band under the Stop the Presses moniker. It's a little bit of fast forward, but like before Stop the Presses was Only Right Left.
Yeah, it was Only Right Left.
And that, kind of went through its paces. We recorded 10 songs for an album that never ended up coming out. We kind of broke up before the album came together. Just being young, being stupid, like wanting everybody. It's like, I feel like it's like, of course, one of those stories of everybody's best intentions destroyed the world. Everybody had an idea of what they wanted the project to be, and everybody wanted to like have some sort of control over pulling the project into the direction they wanted it to be in. As you do when you're young, everybody fucks up their first few bands and shit like that. But that band actually started to do some stuff, and it was fun. And we're like, I think we can fucking do this for real. And Alli and I kind of like were like the principal songwriters and started spending a lot of time together because of that. And especially up front, it was all like really professional. We were like, we were there to write songs and music, but you start
bandmates.
Yeah, you have those like, oh my god, I love that song, or I love that band, or damn, I think I was at that show also, and
yeah, it starts going like that, and like break up with your boyfriend and stuff. And
I never ever said that.
You said
I never said that once.
Never said it, maybe implied.
Not even implied. I just like Alli was.
It's really hard to keep it like that, and then it's like being in a band is tough. You're with a family. They're your new family now. And
Yeah.
then I think that kind of like made that project, our romance, unfortunately,
Kind of destroyed that.
ruffled some feathers in that band. It made the dynamic really strange.
Yeah.
And so when that band broke up, Danny and I still were writing a bunch of songs. We were living together. We were now together. We were living together.
And from the ashes.
And then yeah, we were like one day. Well, we had a lot of friends in my. We did a lot in Miami. Like we were down there for like 10. I was down there for 10 years.
I was down there my whole life.
Yeah.
And it was great. I had a great circle of friends that were deeply involved in the art community,
Yeah.
in different ways and everything. And it was like really great to like for myself, and I know that it was like the same for Alli, but then she like kind of got absorbed into
your. I mean,
yeah, into my friends group. But I mean to say like, when you're like in like towns like that, like towns across America, suburban towns, you always end up like when you're not one of the in crowd, you end up like one of the outcasts. And the outcasts are all there because they don't fit in with those people. And like the fun thing about that is that you get really like varied and strange and wonderful and lovely weirdos.
And yeah, so like a lot of our friends were either artists or dancers or poets or in bands or noise. Noise was a big thing is a big thing in Miami too. So it was like we had this thing called the Artist Collective, and our friend Holly kind of like organized it and everything. We even like put on a musical one year. Danny wrote a musical. We put on a musical, and we did a bunch of. We were in like a rock opera. Like it was
the artist
a very community driven thing.
Yeah, the Artist Collective was like a multimedia community art project that basically went and did like shows / installations everywhere. And it was like at a park or at a venue or at a thing. And it was like we would like usually book really rounded out nights where you would have like bands, acoustic acts, poets, burlesque, and like a host in between. But then there would be a ton of curated art everywhere and all this stuff. And one night we were on the panel, Alli and I were on the panel as like organizers for the committee and for the community. And we were like between bands.
And Holly was like, well, are you guys going to do some songs? And we're like, yeah, we're going to play some of our new songs. And she was like, okay, well, let me know your band name when you can. And we just kept putting it off and putting it off. And then she would like, write us like a couple days later, like, I'm making the flyer. This is like when when you would make flyers and pass flyers out. I'm making the flyer. What is your name?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, yeah, it's coming. And we just kept putting it off. And then finally, like,
it was like over a week.
Yeah, we get this message from her, and she's like, okay, that's it. I'm just going to put Danny and Alli play music. And then we texted her back with stop the presses. Like, no, stop the presses.
We were like, whoa, stop the presses.
Like to tell her not to print that, because that is an idiom. Like most people, I guess, don't know nowadays.
Yeah.
That's we know because we're all old, but that's an idiom, for like stop the printing, So we were like, stop the presses.
Whoa.
And then she was like,
and we looked at each other. We're like, dude, oh my God, is that the name?
And then we just knew.
And we're like, dude, print that. Stop the presses.
Yeah, that's it. Stop the presses. That's it.
That's awesome.
And that's like literally it.
I love band name stories because it is either really fun and really cool or really, really dumb. And
Only Right Left was a dumb one, which was great because it wasn't at all meant to be like some kind of like incredibly deep message. It was fucking with my friend in the days before Google Maps, where we were giving him bad directions. I was like, no, it's right. No, it's left. No, I'm pretty sure it's left, right? No, it's right. No, you're wrong. No, I'm right. It's right. No, you're wrong. It's left. Right?
Very much who's on first.
Yeah. And then we finally was like, dude, you know what? It's the only right left. And then my friend got so mad that he put the car in park and was like, I'm not fucking driving anymore. And that was that. And then, so I feel like, the Stop the Presses is like a much more enjoyable, fun story. And then the other one is really stupid.
I was going to say that is a great That is a fantastic story of a band name.
It's really
That
cute.
it's up there. So I love that.
It also makes sense, I feel like, for Danny and I too. Like, I get it. Like, we're driven people. We do work really, really hard. But I do feel like we procrastinate a lot. And it normally is other people being like, make this fucking deadline right now. Like, tell me what your answer is, because we're always like, I don't know what the answer is.
We need a deadline. No. We need the deadline, and we need an extension. And
we may need an
actually, you know
extension
this.
on
You
the
have
extension.
every time you have scheduled us, it has taken like 3 rounds of trying.
I was like, I keep forgetting to ask Danny, and then I was like, Danny, when are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it this day? And then I
tell him, Rob.
My God.
Tell the people. Tell the people.
And so
I'm not throwing anyone under the bus.
I was gonna say, like,
although I will say, my wife just finished getting my son to bed around like 8:15, and she comes out. She's like, "So are we gonna eat ice cream and just hang out, watch movies?" I'm like, I'm recording." She's like, "I thought they rescheduled." I was like, "No, that was last week." So
shit,
so,
she knows now.
She knows. She's fine.
That's what it is.
Watching her shows, it's fine.
And we're also these type of people too, like, where we really do try to communicate about everything that we're doing, you know? And so
yeah, my father was also a reporter and a photojournalist for the first 10 years of my life. He worked at the Miami Herald.
That's awesome.
Which was really cool, and I kind of grew up around printed newspapers, and it was like, it's just, man, life is so fucked up how it works. Like, honestly, I think I don't know if I've talked about it here before, but like, you know, kind of talking about the whole thing about how the Cubans were there in Jamaica from ska from the very beginning, and like me as a kid who was like, you know, Cuban immigrant parents, but I just wanted to be what was on MTV, and like using ska as like this weird way to come back to my roots of you know, Caribbean rhythms and all this shit is really weird. And honestly, also Stop the Presses was like a fucking weird one for me because I don't have a great relationship with my dad, and it wasn't at all a reference to my childhood when we said it. But it's also one of those like fitting things that just like kind of like slaps me a little bit in the back of my head every now and then. That it's like, yeah, you also picked that name for a reason.
What
that reason is procrastination. So when you guys were in Only Right Left, was ska the direction there? Because you guys,
it was one of the,
because it was very surf rock. I feel like surf rock. There was ska elements. Like, there's definitely ska songs. Like, there's a song After Hours. It's really ska. But then like Holy Rollers, really surf rock. And there's like polka and punk rock. It, to me, it actually sounds like all the influences that Danny and I have. It's just that right now, I feel like for Stop the Presses, we have like a clear sound that we're going for. Whereas, you know, Does It Still Look Pretty, our first album, our EP, and the Only Right Left material, that is actually like all of the influences that we have, which is like punk rock, surf rock, a little bit of polka, reggae, you know,
hip hop stuff in there.
So I think that like when we were young, no, that band was like, I don't know that band had like we didn't have a direct. I don't think we had a direction. It was just we're writing the song.
Yeah, it was like, man, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of this comes from a constant identity crisis. I don't know what the fuck to be, and I never did. I don't think Alli ever did either.
I still feel like we have an identity crisis. I still don't know who the hell I am or what I want.
We were young. God, we're getting into some serious stuff here now. We were young and we were good players. We like, you know, it felt different, especially when the 4 of us got together. And I really want to shout out George Evans and Gabriel Basnoel, our original rhythm section from Only Right Left, who then later became the rhythm section in Stop the Presses because we had this, spoiler alert, big fucking reunion where we fell in love with each other again. But George and Gabe, Jizz moniker,
Jizz Forte.
Jizz Forte is what he went by with us. And it was good, man. It was something else. And it was really cool. But we, like, in Miami, and even still, and this is kind of something that we still, I feel like internally struggle with as people, if I can be really vulnerable here, um, is in Miami, we were like not hard enough to be like one of the angry bands, one of the, like,
Yeah.
I'm letting out my anger bands and shit like that, which is very big, not only in Miami, but kind of everywhere, hardcore influence bands
Those are a
and
huge
shit like
thing
that.
right now.
But we were like too hard to play at a jazz club or at a fucking restaurant or so it was like we could never be background music. I don't think we can be background music. We're never going to be those kinds of people and we're not going to make that kind of music, but I also don't like we always kind of stood out as the softer band on a hard bill or like the harder band on a softer bill. And in Miami, it was like really hard because we had all these ideas. We just, Ali and I both kind of came from a deeply classical background all through school. Uh, Jizz came to us from a punk and hip hop uh, background. George was like a monster fucking bass player, knew how to do punk and surf like really well. He was a humongous fan of Mike Watt and of Norwood Fisher and like everything in between. And he was a powerhouse, dude. It was just power coming out of this fucking bass. But we could all be stylistic and we had like great ideas and like all this fun stuff, but it was all ornaments and it was really hard for people to follow. Um, and we kind of like, and that's even part of what became the rift in the band was that Ali and I were like, dude, we need to stop fucking around. We need to make something that's danceable, that people can digest so that we can be on the radio kind of like or like at least like get booked because in Miami there are like two rock clubs or there ever have ever been at any point like two rock clubs that were open at least in my childhood because as of course being post 90s post CD generation post like we were Ali and I were 12 13 when Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, NSYNC, DMX, like the rise of the solo artist.
Yeah.
Um, so that we had the dwindle of there wasn't as many places to play or things to do, and we were like, we need to tighten this shit up and stop having 17 ideas and have like 4 ideas.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly, if you listen to all of that stuff from like the ORL Volume 1 and 2, ORL being those
So
early
if you listen
tapes,
to those first, and then you go into
and
the
you kind of
presses,
go in order, it all sounds
still
like
sounds like us.
it all sounds like we grew up, like,
Yeah.
and we finally just like figured out what we wanted to do, and kind of a mandate when we started Stop the Presses, especially, was we are going to play Caribbean rhythms. We're going to play Jamaican rhythms. The bass drum is going to be on the 2 and the 4, or it's going to be on the 3, or it's going to be some rocker shit, or we are going to be like respectful, and we're also going to try to like push it into the things that we like,
Yeah.
which is still surf and still synth and still like radio pop and 80s, galore. So it was always a journey to just like man to like make the diamond, if I can, you crush it down until it's the diamond. And I think Money in the Bank was the fucking diamond. That shit.
I can't argue with that. Money in the Bank is such a great album. Like when I started listening to you guys, I was got it because it's really kind of where I entered. And then I was going backwards through your catalog, which I have a tendency, I try to usually start at the beginning because I love to see the growth in a musician. I love to see a growth in a band. Like my favorite one I can point to, and maybe it's because I was there on the ground floor, was the Upsides with the Wonder Years. And
Yeah.
then from there to like Hum Goes On Forever and Burst in Decay Volume 2. I mean, it is such an insane growth and watching especially Soupy create like this narrative throughout every single album. And it just, I'm still floored by the Wonder Years. They're just one of those bands to me. But going back from Does It Still Look Pretty and Escandalo to Money in the Bank and Got It, you can see a growth. You can hear it. It is there. And it's also an almost tonal shift as well, which I, one of the questions I was going to ask was whether that was on purpose or not. But obviously it is. And I love the fact that just going back to the beginning of when we were talking, the fact that you guys all like connected via MySpace, that makes me so fucking happy. Because, quick aside, when I was stationed in Connecticut, uh, I was really bored. I really didn't know many people. Everyone I was stationed with just did not understand music. So I responded to a
In
Craig's.
Connecticut? No.
Yeah, I know, shocking. I responded to a Craigslist ad, looking for a bass player. And it was like pop rock. I honestly can't even begin to. It was weird, but it ended up. In the end, the vocalist was from Massachusetts. I was stationed in New London, and then the drummer and the guitarist were friends. And then uh, the guitarist kept smoking way too much weed and didn't want to write and didn't want to do anything. So we ended
I
up
wasn't.
so me and the drummer, her name was Jess. We put out another ad and we found a lead guitarist and a rhythm guitarist and vocalist, and we started a band and we called it In Response to Prisco because
Yeah.
it was her last name and we were all responding to Craigslist ads. Like
Nice.
it's
Dude, that's
so
a great story too.
I love that. It was fun, but then I moved back to Virginia and I ended up having to leave the band, which sucked. But yeah, what can you do? That was probably the most serious I ever took a band. Because I was originally going to stay in Connecticut,
Wow.
but it was way too expensive.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
was like,
dude.
nope, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Um, so I kind of want to jump forward because we did cover quite a bit of when you guys were in Florida, and I love that. Let's talk about the move to New York. Because when you guys were on the Supernova wrap-up show last year, you guys made a conscious decision to move to New York because you guys wanted to take the music more seriously and you really wanted to take it somewhere. Why New York?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
And that's the interview, ladies and gentlemen. I just asked a really dumb question. I mean, obviously, New
I'm not
York
gonna lie.
is the center of everything.
You want to take that? You want
But
to take that?
That was me.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's me.
So
If I could be vulnerable, let me be vulnerable here. Um, I had a really shitty upbringing, and I had bad music teachers growing up, and I have always played music since I was 7 years old, classical piano. And I had a piano teacher, a lot of mean piano teachers, but I had one particular, and she told me I would never make it in New York City because I wanted to go to New York when I was in high school. That was my dream, was to live in New York and go to conservatory in New York City. And she said, "You're never gonna make it. You're not good enough." And my mother said, "Nah, just stay here. Go to Miami. Miami's close." I was, because I grew up in West Palm Beach. And I kind of was like, I don't know. I was in my 20s. We were getting married. He wanted to move. He actually wanted to move to Virginia or somewhere small like that and smaller. And I was like, I have to do this in my life. I have to move to New York and do music. And I just need to prove to myself that I can do it because everybody told me that I was going to fail. And I had to prove Yoko wrong. And
Her actual piano teacher's name was Yoko, not Ono.
her name was Yoko. And she was, I don't know even why. I mean, honestly, look, I've been in years of therapy, okay? She taught me a lot. She taught me a lot. And I'm the type of person that if you tell me no, I will say, watch me.
Yeah, Alli.
I cannot.
Alli does well with a foil.
I'm the type of person that needs to fight.
But whose face are we rubbing this?
I
So
was gonna say, well, Yoko,
I
who's
have,
right?
Yeah,
well, listen to this. Hold on, hold on. I'm not done with the story.
Okay,
So I
story
said,
two.
okay, we're gonna move to New York and I'm gonna prove her wrong and I'm gonna prove everyone wrong because a lot of people even said in Miami, oh, they're not gonna like your ska. They're not gonna like ska depressive.
they
Your
don't.
ska, they honestly,
They don't.
they New York.
We're still too hard
I was saying, I don't know.
or too soft.
I still don't know the New York.
We're still too hard for the traditional ska
Yeah,
bands,
the rock steady still thinks they were still.
and we're still too soft for the punk bands.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't care. You know what? Fuck y'all.
But you know what? Fuck them all. Because
Fuck 'em all.
I said we moved here, and within the first 3 years, I got to perform at Carnegie Hall, which was a dream of mine, was to play Carnegie Hall,
That's
and I
fantastic.
did. And I messaged Yoko, and I said, Yoko, guess what? I'm playing at Carnegie Hall, and she said, well, I don't see it on their website. I don't see your name on their website, so how do we know if she? And I never wrote her back. And I gotta tell you, it didn't really do anything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel any better. But at least I did it, you know?
There you go.
There. And
Still do
so I'm still doing it. And I have a wonderful music school that I teach right there behind me on that piano. And I have amazing students. And I have performed all over this friggin' city. And so I have proved it to myself. I don't think that I ever got what I was looking for from Yoko. I didn't. That's even just part of the funny lesson. So yeah, I was the reason, guys. It's me.
We wanted to leave Miami. It's just being in Miami is really hard to tour because Florida's great to tour the circuit.
Yeah.
There are 11 state schools in Florida.
Yeah,
When
Florida's awesome.
when school's in session, you can fucking play anywhere.
Anywhere.
And it's great.
We just went to Florida in
It's
May and it was awesome.
9 hours to get from Miami to the Georgia border. And even when you leave like Florida, you got your choices are Alabama and fucking Georgia, dude. And you can play 2 cities in Georgia, and you got to start moving on. And we wanted to play, we wanted to basically do one of the things that we researched online, when we were younger, was kind of like the like the 5 point tour tour circuit thing, which is like you pick a center point that you can be in 5 markets within some kind of like reasonable time period so you can hit those markets a lot. And we did that kind of within the cities of Florida, but that's still within Florida. And we wanted some place that was going to be a little bit more of a hub. And my biggest.
And we wanted to work with Agent J also. We really wanted him to produce a record, which he produced both Got It and Money in the Bank. So there was it wasn't just
Yeah, we wanted to get serious and we wanted to get somewhere.
I do think though that Danny wanted to go somewhere else, and I do still feel to this day that I have
100% wanted to go somewhere else. New York is hard for me. New York is a lot, man. It's just like
he's just a city boy. Like he grew up in Hialeah. That's a city.
Yeah, I mean it's Miami is
fucking West Palm Beach, and West Palm Beach is great.
It's great. Really, seriously, it is, guys.
Seriously, I loved it.
Yeah, I didn't care as much as far as like my biggest thing is like kind of that is like because I grew up so city, I kind of want land somewhere. I want to give me land, lots of land with the starry skies above. Which I'm still on that tip. We're gonna get there, but dude, I mean, like
New York, I guess.
Yeah, New York State and Pennsylvania are right around, right out, within a few miles, drive a few hours, drive of here. But I do want to say, man, I'm shitting on things a little bit. Like New York has treated us very well, and as far as the fact that like, literally, there are zero fucking guarantees in New York. Nothing is here for you. But what there is here is that everything is operating at critical mass. So if you work your ass off, you get rewarded for it.
You get rewarded,
which it wasn't clear for me in Miami. Like you could spin your wheels forever in Miami and kind of get nowhere. And it's like part of it is a laissez-faire, part of it is a lobsters in a bucket thing, part of it is just like
it's just island
the
time.
respect.
I think it's just island time.
The respect for culture in New York is much more prevalent, much deeper. It starts at a younger age. There's much more investment into it, and even like it's all the things, man. There's things to do here, but also like it means more when you say you're from here versus other places. And it's not that we like quote unquote say we're from here because I personally never say I'm from here, but the band is from Brooklyn, you know, and Brooklyn has treated us very well. So
it has been well.
Yeah, dude.
Friends here, and there's a good community here, and I think again it for me anyway it feels good to do that, to prove myself that I could do it.
And not just
And it's been 11 years.
Yeah, dude, 11 years and like for a while now, like every cent in my bank account is from music. In some way or another, even if it's like fixing gear or doing production work or teaching or whatever, it's like I can afford my life with this thing
with music.
Love. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That is that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. It's not a doctor's life. No. But
But are you happy with it? I think that's really what it comes down to. Are you happy with where you are in life? And if that's a yes, then fuck a doctor.
Oh yeah.
So who cares?
I mean, I could use some ice cream, but
I have some in my freezer, but I'm down in Virginia, so I can't help you. So sorry, man.
We'll figure it out.
If you were in Virginia, I would happily share my ice cream with you. So you guys get to New York. You're getting everything lined up. How long did it take to get Stop the Presses constructed to where it is today? Because you guys have a hell of a band put together. I mean, not just the two of you, but your drummer is insanely tight, incredibly well done. He's an incredible drummer. The two backing singers, I don't know their names, so I can't really say that. Their voices are incredible. And obviously, Steve, I love him dearly. Oh
yeah.
You guys have really constructed, for lack of a better way of putting it, a cohesive unit that from every video, every song I saw at Supernova last year is just so well put together that you guys have this unique and beautiful sound. And it seems like it's really gelled.
We are incredibly lucky. I can't tell you in any other terms, man. Like everyone in New York is here to be serious. That's part of why we're here. And that was part of the whole thing is we wanted people who were fucking serious. People are here and dog, it's just like the thing is so hard that you have to be sure.
Yeah.
And all the people in our band are sure.
Yeah, they're
independently of me, which is
they're all
I rely on them, I trust them because they are here to do the fucking job.
Yeah,
and they're doing it
professional, and and that's even like what he's talking about, just the level of musicianship here in New York City is it's a lot different than it was in Florida. I truly feel that.
And the like interest behind it, because it's like there are great musicians down there, but they also like want to be the star and don't want to collaborate or want to.
And I think here everybody kind of has their own things going on. So like, there are members that might have their own project or a cover band or a this or a that, you know what I mean? Like everyone here is working musicians. Our bandmates are working musicians. They're either teachers or musicians in other projects, you know what I mean? Like it's this hub of, and even Danny and I, like all of our friends here, all of the bands that we know are from here are all incredibly talented people that make music their lives. And that is like, I think like New York City definitely breeds musicians. It is
very
the place to be for to get the best musicians.
That's why I even laughed is that's why I laughed when you said why New York, because it's like, bro, pick a movie. Like pick one movie, like, and it probably has a tie to some fucking idiot moving to New York. $3, 2 bags, 1 me. Sorry, musical theater.
I love it. No, you can keep singing. It's fine. Let's turn the rest of this episode into Danny sing songs. Musical theater. I love it. I was gonna say New York is just being uh someone whose family is tied to New York. My mom was born in Brooklyn. I lived in Long Island during my younger years. I have been in Virginia a lot longer than I ever was in New York, but I always consider myself a New Yorker at heart because I love the city. I love New York. Um, so asking why New York is kind of dumb. At the same time, I mean, you could have gone anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
California was probably an option, but that's also pretty similar to Florida, where it's like you can drive anywhere in California and you could drive like 8, 9 hours and you're still not hitting Oregon. So,
Yeah, dog.
It's similar in that way. Yeah,
yeah.
New York just seemed, you know, and we have kind of already a hub here of friends, musician friends actually that played music with us in Hialeah that moved here. We have a
Mhm.
few dear friends that are here doing music and arts and
Yeah,
stuff,
a few expats.
and I have a lot of family that's up here at the time. Even my cousin, who I'm really really close to, was here, and so it was like I don't know, and it still seems like it's the right place to go, or to be, like when I think about 11 years ago and I think, like where it started to what we have now. Even just in
Started
my,
from the bottom, now we're here.
even like, okay, yeah, the band, absolutely, the growth of the band and um the connections here, like the support system that we have here is amazing.
Yeah.
But then even my work life is like, my work is really tied to music, whether I'm playing solo gigs, like, just whatever, or my music school, it's like I was teaching, I, I've always been like a voice and a piano teacher, and even just the families that I teach up here, how much they care about the arts, how much it's so important to them to have their children have music, which is like what it was for me. It was music was my way of speaking, it was like how I was able to communicate with others when I felt so, lost in my own house, so I think that New York, like I think about, oh, if I had to move back down to Miami, and like what would I do with my music school? Like would I go back into teaching? And it's not gonna be the kind of teaching that I do here where people care a lot. And these kids are, they're amazing. They write songs, or they go to the different the art schools here, and it's incredible. I'm
They
very
want to be there. They
want to
want.
be there, and I have, like I said, I have students that are like they want to do this.
Dude, Allie, just like we have the recital now, and man, Allie has this fucking student that she started teaching like within the first 6 months of being here that she got
Oh,
off of
you're making me cry.
Craigslist. I know, I'm gonna cry too. It's so beautiful. And dude,
18.
this kid just turned 18 and is graduating high school, and that's it. She's like done. She's like aged out, and like they had this big old fucking moment at the recital, and we all kind of just like realized
Started
like,
crying.
oh my God, it's been
I
11
I know.
years, dude. This
Like I said,
she started with this baby who's gonna go off and do keg stands, dude. Like,
no, please no.
I
I keep
know.
telling her too, and I'm like, all right, go to college, and
Oh,
then
come on.
come back
She's
and
been already doing cake stands, so it's fine.
great. She's
No,
already
New
doing
York
that.
kids, New York kids, dude, don't fuck
They're
around,
so
man.
good. They're such
New York
good
kids are so
kids.
good. We got into all kinds of nastiness. Even kids
Yeah.
now are in the suburbs are
No,
getting into shit, dude.
yeah, they don't do it.
My cousin, uh, he's now so he plays offensive line at a college in Connecticut.
Fuck
This is
yeah.
a giant moose of a human being. I love this kid dearly. Like I remember when he was a kid and his brother is allergic to literally everything. So they didn't keep a lot of like the foods that he was allergic to, they didn't keep it in the house. And so like they really didn't eat a lot of sugar and stuff like that. So I remember my aunt took him down here for she was just visiting, but it happened to coincide with my son's like fourth birthday party, and my son loved Krispy Kreme donuts. So we just got like dozens of donuts. And like I go in to just check on my aunt and everyone, and Maddie is just like shoving donuts in his mouth, and he's just like, "These are so fucking good. How have I lived without this?" So,
Oh.
but he last time I saw him, he was telling me stories how they would like 16, 17 years old, getting like a case of beer and taking the train to go to the Mets game, and I'm just like, how? You're 16. Like I know you're a giant human being, but at the same time, who thinks you're 21 when you're
Bro.
16? But then
They don't-
again, those damn Long Island kids, I tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh man.
real. That's super.
So so you guys have kind of developed this sound where the best that I can equate it to is very like rock steady ska. Just it's but it's just perfect for what you guys are trying to do. Money in the Bank was phenomenal. Got it, took it to the next level. I have heard one new song you guys have done, and you played it at Supernova last year. But you
God damn.
guys talked about this off before we started recording that you are working on new stuff. Is that the goal right now? The next
There
album?
are 3 recorded songs that are supposed to be released in some kind of upcoming time. That's as specific as I will be about that.
I
And
think you're gonna
then
be patient. Fine.
yeah, dude, there are like 4 more songs behind that that are mm, they're like right there. And we're
Yeah.
about to fucking put those onto committed memory of some kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know. Um and then yeah, dude, we it's really hard to play and write at the same time, and we have been super blessed with gigs. We have been booked and blessed. We are on purpose taking some time off right now. Uh,
Yeah, on purpose trying to not say yes to all of these big tours so that we can focus and get the music out and finish it up. You know, Danny and I are completists. You know, um, we have a ton of ideas and we like to um, we want to like the songs before you guys like the songs. That's the kindest way that I can say it. You know, is that I don't want to put out like even the last 2 records, like Money in the Bank and Got It, is 8 songs each. I don't want to put out a record that has 15 songs if I don't like some of the songs, if I don't fuck with it, then I'm not gonna give it, then I'm not gonna put it out there, you know? So I almost would rather it take longer because I have had people like fans come up and be like, all right, you know, time is ticking. It's been a while. Come on, what's going on? And it's like the reason that we played Killed the Ghost is because that one was done. That felt it felt complete, you know.
That was so fucking good.
Thank you. And there's other tunes also that
oh, I forgot
we played the Oye
that
Lonely
Oye
Heart.
Como Va thing. Yeah, that Oye Lonely Heart thing.
We played another new song also, You Are My.
Oh, we played that on a live stream.
We played that on a live stream
Yeah,
and we played it at with
yeah.
the Slackers. And there's like a couple little
Oh, we did play that
we played the Slackers.
in Denver.
We played it a couple times. So
Damn, you should have been in Denver, Rob.
yeah, we do actually have a few.
It's a really far drive.
And I think there's another 2 also that we've tried to like sneak in because the idea of like playing them live with the band, playing them live with the band helps a little bit more. Is like Got It was like a very much the COVID album. So everything of that is all just like basically it was us as a 4-piece and then doing like overdubs later on. And right now, we're trying to kind of go back to our roots of like with Money in the Bank, where it's like play them live and play them out a little bit, and then know exactly what we want, the vision for having it in the studio. So yeah, I would say that like some of the shows that we're about to announce for fall and for spring, there probably will be some new tunes like glittered in those set lists as we are trying to put out the next record. So yeah, I think we're gonna like kind of we've got this one thing that's ready to go, and then we have a couple of other like singles and everything like
We're trying to give ourselves like 2 months to get our shit together right now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, take your time. Trust me.
Also,
I'll be
man,
around.
like it bears saying, I'm sorry, and I like, um, we lost our dog almost exactly a year ago. It's been like a year and like 2 weeks, and I
No,
never
you don't cry.
thought any of that was going to be as hard as it was.
I know.
Dude, it
I'm
is torture. It
It was our
fucking
dog of 14 years, and his Pepper, and everybody, the
everybody
people
knows Pepper.
who knows, yeah,
Everyone knows Pepper.
yeah.
Fuck, man.
And I know, and I'm gonna say because it was
That
like,
like
last summer was like
we
we
were
were
working.
we were trying very hard to work, and
Yeah.
you know, when Pepper got sick, and it was one of the worst things I've ever seen to had happen to me in my entire life. It was the worst time of my life.
Yeah, and it hit a big old fucking reset button on a lot of timers.
And it was like a lot of grief and everything like that. And you know, I don't know, life is really hard, and it's hard. This business is tricky because there's a lot of voices that tell you, just release the music, like some mentors of mine have told me before, just put it out there, just put it out there. And like what I'm saying to you is like, I don't want to just put it out there. I don't want to. I don't want to just put this out there. I want to like make sure that I like it.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's 8 songs or 7 songs at a time, because it's like, no, these are the ones that we are like,
or them.
I stand by this.
Yeah, like push it, and just do this and that, and it's kind of like, honestly, the NoFX documentary was like really. I made this joke to a ton of people about it, but that was like really eye-opening for me. It was really inspirational to me because, again, there's a lot of voices, and a lot of the voices are telling you just put out the music and
just do this,
keep working, just do this, don't do, just do that, and it's like, no, my heart needed to heal. I needed to heal. That fucked me up. And then the other portion of it is that, like, I want to go on my own time. Life is long. People think like life is really fast and short. No, life is long, and I want to go on my own time. And we're all scrimping and saving here for peanuts. Like, nobody's got anything. No one's got nothing. So it's like, no one's got nothing. So it's like, I don't know. If I wait a little bit longer and really like and cherish this thing that I put out into the universe, that's so much more rewarding in the long run in 10 years from now than me just farting out some songs that I'm like, well, I don't really like these songs, I don't know. Again, a very vulnerable session, Rob.
This was not what I was expecting. Like, you guys, like, it's not like I'm expecting like dick jokes and fart noises and everything. It's just, but this is like, holy shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not used to this. Like, I've kind of stepped away from the vulnerability when I stopped doing the dad podcast, and now it's like I'm stepping right back fucking into it.
Oh man.
So, I'm here for it.
I've got a dick joke. I once met a man named Richard, and he wasn't very nice.
All right. Good job, Danny.
That's the joke.
Good
job. Thank you, I guess.
Yeah. All right, next question.
Well, I think that ends the session here. Regardless, Danny, Alli, take your time. Love your music.
Thank you.
Because we're gonna love it. I straight up honest with you guys. I love your music. It's fantastic. You guys do such great work, and your live shows not just it exemplifies what you guys are trying to do. And if it takes you guys another 3 years to get it done to where you shit, I'm still going to be here. So at least you guys got me.
Long, guys.
So,
it's coming.
But regardless, as long as you guys are happy with it, because in the end, I mean, who gives a fuck what everyone else thinks? As long as you're happy with it.
And that is, that's the.
We're trying.
Yeah, that's all you can do. And honestly, you guys are doing a hell of a job. You really are. No. And this may not mean much, but you know what? I'm proud of you guys. You're doing some awesome fucking work.
It means that's the reason we're doing it.
So, So that is going to be it this week. Danny, Alli, thank you again for coming on. Really do appreciate you guys taking the time to jump on here and talk. And while we didn't go over everything, we went over quite a bit. It was definitely more than I actually wrote down that I was going to try and hit on. So there's that. So go
Nice.
team, go team.
Yay!
We did it. We made it through the episode.
Hell yeah.
So time. All right. Next week is kind of a hodgepodge episode. Uh, Gary from Backyard Superheroes is coming on the podcast. And I will tell you this, we bounced around a lot. We did not just talk about ska. We talked about the important things, like Star Wars. And we talked a little bit about Backyard Superheroes. But mostly we just talked. And it is all over the place. And I'm pretty sure Gary is my long lost brother. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out next week.
I love it.
So Gary's coming on from Backyard Superheroes. Obviously, Flying Raccoon Suit is joining us in a couple weeks. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Benny and Jaredine from The Boy Detective. I was able to sit down with them and discuss their music as well. Guys, this run of episodes coming up is going to be some of the best that I can possibly give you. So get excited, people. The road to Supernova, it's coming up fast. It really, really is. And there's a lot more to cover. So we will see you next week. And Danny and Alli will be back at some point because I will make them come back and demand it. It will take us like 3 or 4 times to actually schedule the episode.
Yeah, you had asked me a question about Weezer, but I haven't really had a chance to sit down and think about it. But we will talk.
Well, we were gonna try and do that like a month or 2 ago, but in all honesty, all the episodes like leading up to go into Supernova got completely imploded, and I hit like a brick wall of just like I have no motivation to do this right now. So I took like 3 weeks off, and just started recording and front loading this. So
well, take your time. We're here.
We'll get there.
Like here.
Probably like October-ish.
Nice.
Around then we'll do the Weezer episode. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Right now I'm just trying to get through all this.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for this episode. Bye everybody.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
That's a great way to end this.